Like it.
You guys can see it all? Okay, so welcome everybody. We're gonna have people kind of coming in and out, and it might be a little quiet, so if you're calling in, just please mute your phones. So today we're gonna have a little bit of fun, and we're gonna help everybody get over some hurdles of handling objections or eliminating them. You know, in this industry, we've got so many skills to learn, like prospecting, inviting, following up, and we're gonna eventually cover all of them, but today it's handling and eliminating objections. So imagine, as I said in the Facebook post, of talking to less people and getting better results. Or imagine having the confidence to share pure therapeutic ketones to more people, even your chicken list. Or imagine waking up every day and being absolutely fearless that from now forward, you'll know what to say, because you can. It's easier than you think. It's all about your conviction in yourself and your skills and having that posture. And we're going to talk about posture a lot today. It's knowing what to say in any situation. So we're going to tackle the skill of handling objections today. And I'm not talking about canned scripts. I'm talking about developing skills to be professional and successful. So one of the things to consider is that you can prevent a lot of objections when you've got that posture in how you set up your invites for your invites and your presentations. So remember, our job's not to convince anyone, it's to share. So my goal today is to give you that posture to have you walk with confidence so that you can set the tone up front. You can know how to handle objections before they come up, eliminate excuses and some of those silly questions we get along the way. Because remember, we're looking for people that are looking for success. So show you have posture and you're having some fun along the way. You know, Eric Worre, if you guys know him, he says it so well, we have a better way. So let's all lead like professionals. And professionals sort prospects and amateurs try to convince. Not everyone we introduce to ketones will see the same opportunity we do. Our goal is to make sure that at least everybody is exposed professionally and properly. And remember, if you get a no, it's okay. Give yourself a high five, pat yourself on the back, and because you put yourself out there, and move on. So grab a pen and paper today. Hopefully you'll be inspired to take lots of notes, and let's get to it. So first, what is an objection? Objections are simply unanswered questions. You have to understand that when you get objections or weird questions or excuses, it's usually because your prospect is feeling that they can't do what you're doing, or they're unsure that they're going to have success. And it's our job to reassure them that they can do this. And it's very important, excuse me, you know, it's very important to make sure that what we're doing, our process, is very duplicatable. I just spilled water all over. You don't have to be smart to do this. You know, if we're pointing people to a video or getting them on a three-way call or the Tuesday corporate call, show them that it's easy, because duplication is key to a successful network marketing business. And it's easier if you get good at the setup, and overcoming most objections before they come. And we're going to cover the setup next. But remember, duplicate as much as possible. Don't become Dr. Dom and overcomplicate this. It's powder. We mix with water. It tastes delicious. We feel better. We get so excited we want to share everything we know. And if prospects are thinking that they need to learn all that we know, and if they're thinking that once, they're going to think, I can't do this and I can't have success. And you're going to get those objections and excuses and questions. So say less, listen more, ask questions, and let the tools do the presenting and explaining for us, so that they can see, oh, this is pretty easy. I just have to point them somewhere. Less objections and less excuses that you have, the more confidence you're going to have and be able to share pure therapeutic ketones. So give yourself a break and make it easy. And the last thing is, don't attract objections. It's going to sabotage your success every time. And here's what I mean. If you meet somebody, you meet Bob, and you think Bob won't do this because Bob doesn't have any money, which, as we all know, is why he should be doing this in the first place. But if you think that that's going to happen, then guess what? That's going to happen. If you think they won't like the taste, then guess what? They're not going to like the taste. Or if you think they're not going to come on board, they're going to not come on board. So don't prejudge. Go into every presentation with the mindset and affirmation or mantra, if you have one, and repeat it over and over. You could say, I'm so happy and grateful that Bob joined my team immediately after seeing the video and seeing the presentation, and he's so excited to work with you. Whatever works with you. So let's talk about the setup. You can eliminate most objections before they coming up by using a 4-step process. And this happens before you send them the video. And if it's done right, I can promise you that they're listening and they're watching the video is going to be very different, and they're going to have more intention. So the first step is, are you sharing your vision and are you encouraging them to be part of it? Because most of you know I've got a big vision and I tell prospects about it. And ask yourself, do you have a big one? Is it big or small? Because we aren't taught in school to have a vision. We're taught to be employees. So this is kind of different for people. So think about what you want. What do you want your team to look like in 5 years? What do you want your life to look like in 5 years? What do you want your business or your family to look like in 5 years? Sharing your vision helps people understand why they're watching. And the second step is be passionate. So before you take them to the video or the call, can they feel your passion that there's a difference between passion and excitement. So passion's stronger and it's better received. And we don't need to be excited or hyper. We need to be passionate, and that starts with you. Are you really in love with your pure therapeutic ketones? Are you in love with what you're doing? Are you in love with your team? I really hope you are. And you're kind of sharing, when you're doing that, you're kind of sharing your why and you're letting them feel that. So the third step is also to are they convinced that they're going to be part of something big? If you share your goals and vision and you're being vulnerable, then you're most likely, you're going to get less objections and less questions. If you're acting small, they're going to feel it. Nobody wants to be part of something small. We've got something so awesome on our hands. You want to look them in the eye and say, Joanne, I'm going to show this to 1,000 people over the next year. And I wanted you to be one of the first. I wanted you to see what we're doing and be part of how big this can be. So Joanne's now thinking, wow, Janice is going to do something big, and I don't want to miss out on that. Now her listing is going to be very different, and there's going to be more intention around that. And the last step is, do you use a takeaway? This comes with holding posture. If you act like you're doing them a favor by sharing ketones with them, then they're going to feel that not that you need them, but you want them. Very different. So many times we exude needy. I need this person to rank, or I need this person to get paid or to qualify. People are going to sense that, and needy energy creates objections and questions and excuses, and you lose your posture. So you can say, Joanne, I'm about to do something big with Prove It, and I'm about to show 500 people, and you can pick up your list and show them your list. And I wanted to show you first, and I wanted you to be one of the first people to be part of what we're doing. And here's their takeaway. It might resonate with you right away like it did with me, or it might not. And it's okay either way, but either way is okay. I'm not going to be offended. I just wanted you to know first. And this gives them an out, and it takes all the pressure off. It shows them that they aren't needed, that they're selected. So set your invites up and your presentations up for success. People are going to have a different listening. There may still be objections after a great setup, and that's okay. So let's dive into some of the typical ones we get. So the first one, I have no money, or it's too expensive. Who gets these, right? The first thing you want to do when you get an objection is you want to qualify and make sure that's the real reason before you spend time addressing it. I call this solving for X. You're solving for the excuse. Because many people will say, it looks awesome, I wish I had the money. I just don't have the money right now, or it's too expensive. And if that comes up, it might come up even if you do a great setup. But the first thing is qualify. Is the objection real? And it's not just an excuse. Because if I offered somebody, I said, you know what, for $5,000, there's going to be a brand new Tesla in your driveway in the hour. Guess what? They're going to come up with that $5,000, right? So you can say, you know what, that's awesome, Barb. Thank you for sharing that with me. Personally, I know that $1,000 to start a business that could change my bank account dramatically and help people isn't that much. So I appreciate you sharing how low you are in funds. And here's the key. So Barb, just so we're on the same page, and I use that a lot because it's very powerful. It's helping you solve for X. Just so we're on the same page, is it really that you don't have the money, or that you don't see an opportunity for yourself? I'm not going to be offended if you don't. I just want to be clear. Do you really not have the money, or do you just not see the same opportunity that I do? Because if it's the money, I can help you figure that out. And some people will say, that's more for the business. So for customers, even if they say it's too expensive, same thing. Just so we're on the same page. If it was less money, do you see the benefits of pure therapeutic ketones? I'm not going to be offended. I just want to be clear. It's super more powerful than saying, yeah, it's a little expensive, and you're going to save money on supplements, you're going to buy less food, or it's the cost of goods. You don't have to answer what they're asking, and you don't have to get into defense mode. You just have to solve for X. So if they say, no, I don't see an opportunity, move on. Ask for a referral, or ask them if you can keep them in the loop, and then maybe in a month or so you can send them, a new testimonial or new video or something like that. But if they say yes, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that say yes. If they say, I do see the opportunity, I just don't have the money, then you can say, great, thank you for being honest and sharing that with me. And then you can help somebody find that extra money. Or you can, again, if they say no, ask them, say, do you know somebody else that wants to have pure therapeutic ketones and work from home? So if they say yes, then solve for X. Okay, so you can say, okay, Barb, it's really great that you see this opportunity, like you said, that you do. Now I want to help you come up with the money. Are you okay with that? So grab a pen and paper, and about how far off are we from the $1,000? If they, how much do you have in your account right now? If they say they can afford 300, so then break it down. Okay, so we're only off 700. So what are some creative ways that we can help you raise that money? When do you get paid? Can you sell some stuff? Can you get some odd jobs? You want to come up with those ways together and say something like, let me help you figure this out so that you don't have to have an issue ever again of $1,000 standing in the way of your dreams. And share a story of someone that you know that did something to come up with money. In my old company, we were going to a conference, and she had some like Vitamix, some $3,000 blender or something like that. And she sold that so she could come to conference because she knew how important it was to help her learn and achieve her dream. And if you don't have a story personally about something like that, then borrow somebody else's. So back to Barb. Okay, let's come up with 5 ways right now. How soon do you think you can come up with the money to get started? Asking how soon is very important, and let them give you the time and day so that you can schedule the follow-up. Because if it's next payday, it's like, okay, great. When do you get paid? Friday? Perfect. So, book a time, follow-up. Do you want me to come over at 3 o'clock? Set that in your calendar as a goal to get started. And you can add, and do me a favor. If you're super excited that getting started and you can magically come up with that money before Friday, call me and let's get you rolling sooner. Because we're looking for leaders, and leaders do things like that. They make magic happen. They make that money come faster. You can have some fun with this, right? Because you're showing you care. We typically, when we get this, we'll say, yeah, I know it's expensive, cost of goods, blah, blah, I hear ya. And we let our prospects walk all over us. Then we walk away and it's like, wow, then you start doubting yourself. But you can do that, or you can solve for X. We need to help them understand. If they want it bad enough, then let them know that you're willing to help them to take a step toward them, and they're going to take a step towards you. Okay, so the next one we get a lot, it's not for me. When I get that, interesting. Maybe this isn't for you, but how do you mean exactly? Because in my head, I'm thinking, this is freaking awesome. How can you not see what I see? So I'll ask them, like, what do you mean exactly? Because when they watch the video or do a 3-way call or on the corporate call, you want to ask them what they like best of what they saw and heard. And when they tell you, then you can go down the road as a promoter or as a customer based on what they shared with you. And then at the end of that, do you see an opportunity for yourself? Or if it's customer, do you want to get pure therapeutic ketones inside you right away? We rarely ask for closing questions. They agreed to watch the video, they agreed to go on the corporate call, or they agreed to get on a 3-way call. So it's okay to ask. Majority of people never do that. We overcomplicate things and we keep on talk. Just ask them, do you see an opportunity for yourself? They could say, yeah, it's good, but it's not for me. Again, your reply, interesting. Maybe this isn't for you, but what do you mean exactly? By asking that question, you're going to uncover the real reason it's not for them, and then you can go from there. And this usually is just a cover for something else, the real objection. So you're solving for X. They may say, I do like it, but I don't have the money. Then you can ask, money aside, do you see an opportunity for yourself? Because we can deal with the money later, but do you see an opportunity for yourself? You want to uncover the real reason. And so, sometimes, and don't take this personally, it's the way we're presenting or exposing the opportunity. We overcomplicate, we share too much. We talk about the business when they really just want to be customers. So if we're showing in a non-duplicatable way, because all of a sudden we've become Dr. Dom, they're really saying, I can't do what you just did, or I don't want to do that much work. And if they truly don't see an opportunity for themselves, then thank them. Ask them for a referral if they know someone that does, and then ask their permission to keep them in the loop. And then you can follow up in a month or so with like a new video or a new story or something. And then just, agree with them, thank them, never argue. The next one, I want to think about it, or I need to do research. We never get this one right. Get this all the time. More so in the beginning. But first you want to understand again is why are you getting this question? And this is key. Because one of the reasons is Maybe they're like a green personality. And if you don't know what that means, it just means it's someone that's very analytical, very data driven. And in that case, maybe they need more facts, or they need to hear someone who they feel is going to have more credibility, and they're going to have more facts to share. Set up a three-way call with a person that's a better fit for them. But before you do that, before you jump through hoops, solve for X. Because if you think you may lack credibility with that person, or you know that they're agreeing, then try to eliminate this objection before it comes up. You want to add some verbiage in your setup before you present or before you send them to your link. And here's what you can say. Barb, when I first heard of ketones, I was researching and searching for something to give me more energy, more vitality, more focus, more fat burning. And I did a ton of research on Keto OS so that I could confidently put my name to this and put my name to prove it. And I could confidently set myself up for, and then share whatever your vision is, like help me stay home with the kids, or help me cut back on hours at work. Or for me, it's help me take vacations without, price shopping. Share with them that you were searching and searching so that you can confidently put your name to it and allow you to live that better life, or that better quality of life. And if it still comes up, you may want to pull your hair out, but you can say this, like, okay, cool. I don't usually get many people telling me that they want to do more research after I send them the Dr. Dom TED Talk, but I'd love to help with that. Would you mind sharing with me what you feel you need more information on exactly? Show them they're listening and find out from them, so they don't go and Google everything on their own. They're going to Google everything and anything. So listen, make a note, and maybe it's a comp plan. Like, okay, great. So you need more info on the money. What else? Listen again, make a note. They may say, how much time will it take? Awesome. Okay, so now we need more information on how the money works and how much time you need to spend to get this business going. Anything else? Listen and make a note. Keep doing that until everything's laid out on the table. Anything else? Anything else? You're like, okay, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. There it is again. It's very powerful. If we can get more info on how the money works and how much time you need to invest, are you happy? And you're happy with the information you get. Do you see an opportunity to get started with me? Because why would you want to jump through hoops if they aren't interested, if they're just, you want to honor your time. Maybe they're just sending you down a dead end, and you don't want to play cat and mouse with them. If you don't ask, then people like this are going to send you scurrying for an answer, and when you come back, they're going to have another question. So solve for X, find out everything that they need to know. And if they say yes, they would be get ready to start it, great. I'm going to set up a three-way call with someone that can get your questions answered and get the information that they asked for. If they say no, or they're still unsure and they still want to think about it, don't say how high because they said jump. Don't go running around and getting them info and wasting both your time and theirs. Move on. Get a referral. Ask them if you can keep them in the loop. We trick ourselves into thinking that our pipeline's so full with people like this. So solve for X or move on. All right. So the next one, let me see how you do or how much money you're making. Usually we get this one with our friends, right? Again, you want to ask yourself, why are you getting this objection? Maybe it's lack of credibility with this person, or it's your lack of posture, or most likely it's because they don't believe they can do what you just did or what you're doing, and they want to see some social validation on how you did it. So here's how you can handle it. How do you mean? Are you saying that because you're not confident that I'm going to do something big with this? I like to make a joke with it and laugh with them, because usually it's it's from friends or something. So let their question sit out there for a bit. And you can come back with something cheeky. You can be straightforward with them. It's like, okay, Donna, let's forget me for a minute. So from everything you saw, let's just level with each other. Do you see an opportunity for yourself here? Forget about me. If they say yes, then you can move on. But if they say no, I appreciate your honesty in telling me if you don't see an opportunity for yourself. I wanted to show you first. And then ask them, then do the takeaway. Ask them for a referral, ask for permission if you can keep them in the loop. And if they say yes, you can share. Because here's the truth. I'm going to take this opportunity and I'm going to create something big. And then you can share your vision. For me, I'm going to create a legacy for my son. And while I'm doing this, I'd love to work with you rather than work ahead of you. And I don't want you to miss out and have me achieving my goals without you achieving your goals at the same time. You show you're leveling with them and you're being honest. So what do you need to see come out of this to make it worth your time? You're asking more questions. You're asking them about their goals. So listen what they have to say. And if it's X amount of dollars a month, or you want to pay the mortgage or whatever, you're like, awesome. If I can show you a way to make that happen while we're running together, Is there anything else you need to know before we get started? Are you ready to have some fun with me? You showed them you cared, and you said, forget about me. You focused on them for a minute. And here's a pro tip. Don't let your prospects walk all over you. And this is where for sure you shouldn't do that. Ask questions. Give them the energy that you care about them and their goals, and they'll want to be part of what you're about to do. So show them that you give a damn instead of just trying to make a sale. Another one, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. I want to talk to my spouse. So when you're getting this, is this legitimate, or are they just trying to blow you off? Handle this before it comes up. If you know they've got a spouse, make sure you schedule the time together. Or if it's cold market person, say, look, hey, are you married or do you have a partner? And the reason I'm asking this is because, are you going to make this decision on your own, or do you want to make this together? You want to discuss it with somebody? And then just rebook when you've got a time to be in front of the both of them. Because you don't want somebody confusing the issue and trying to sell them, when they get home because they're so excited and they don't even know what ketones are. Or you don't want to have that opportunity to let somebody at home who doesn't know what they're talking about, kill their dreams before they even start. So I've just got a couple more. I don't have time. And, again, most likely you're getting this because people feel they can't do what you just did. You might not be presenting in a duplicatable way, or it really is, or isn't about the time you want to solve for X. So try handling this objection before it comes up. Make sure you're presenting in a duplicatable way and let the tools do the talking. But let's say they watch the video that you sent out, or you did a three-way call, and this comes up after. Just say, okay, I appreciate you sharing that with me. How do you mean? Listen to them. Let them explain and verbalize their busy life. Let them regale you with the importance and how important they are, as if none of us have anything that so busy. We don't have kids or we don't have anything else to do. And you can have some fun with them, and in a sympathetic tone, you're like, geez, that sucks. How long do you have to do that for? And that's going to stop them dead in their tracks. Because amateurs are going to lose posture, right? They're going to scurry around and say things like, oh, it's not going to take that much time, or don't worry, we can work around that. But professionals are going to have posture. We can have that sympathetic tone and ask, how long do you have to do that for? Or ask, if you don't do something different, how can you expect a different outcome? Or how expect to get some time back? And share a story. You can use a feel, felt, found here. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's a very powerful strategy of acknowledging their concern, empathizing, and answering. So you can say, I know exactly what you mean. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. And what I found was, and you can insert a relevant story. My story would be, I was in the high-tech world and then real estate, and I was working so many hours that I was missing all the waking hours of when my son was little. I missed his milestones of his first step and his first word. And I knew that I had to change something or do something different. And I did. And now my life's very different. In his early years, I used to snuggle with him every morning, and I would be there for lunch and for dinner. So you can go back to Barb and say, okay, so let's say you did have a little bit of time and it didn't take more than a few hours in a week out of your schedule. So with my help on freeing up some of that lifestyle and put that time in your schedule, do you see an opportunity here? And if they say no, move on. Ask for a referral, ask for permission to keep them in the loop. And if they say yes, it's awesome. So I want you to know, I'm here to help you. So based on your busy schedule, what's the most you could put into this in a week? Is it 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours a week? What can you spare? And make a note of what they say. And it's like, okay, so with those 3 hours that you have in a week, what would you like to see income-wise to make this something interesting to you? And know what they say. Make sure it's realistic. You have to reframe it. If they say 3 hours and they want $10,000 a week, not realistic. So when you've got something realistic, it's like, okay, and how long do you want it to take for you to get that? Again, make sure it's realistic. If it's not realistic, share a story, reframe their expectations. And if it is realistic, say, okay, awesome. So did you know that's very realistic? And then you can share a relevant story of somebody that has done this. And if I'm willing to help you do that starting today, is there anything else you need to know before I get going to work with you? You're solving for that, to help you solve for that no time issue. And if they say no, it's like, great, let's rock and roll. Let's get this started. Let's get you going. Let's get you a little less busy in life so that you can start working on things that you do want to work on. And if you don't have stories or third-party testimonials, like, they're powerful. If you don't have one of your own or someone on your team, go to the Prove It Facebook page. There's tons there, and you'll find one for yourself. So the next one, pyramid scheme. this shouldn't be coming up anymore if you do the setup well. And if it does, you want to look at how you're presenting it and why somebody would say that. Because your prospect may have had a bad experience at one point, or they may have been ambushed by a crappy company, or they're closed-minded. I find those that don't have any money typically are the ones that will come up with something like this because it's an excuse and it's easy to jump on the bandwagon than to actually like take responsibility for themselves and their family. And, you know, I digress there because to me, there's no coincidences in life, and they're probably not very entrepreneurial. So before you handle this objection, you can handle this objection before it comes up, similar to, you know, like, let me do my research option. You can, your setup. Remember, I was researching and searching for something and doing a bunch of research on this so that I could confidently put my name to something so that I can create a legacy for my son. You know, you, at that point, you want to add what your vision is. And if someone does say this, you know, don't be defensive. Don't give them what they want. People that do this are trying to push buttons and they're trying to elicit a response from you, and they're expecting you to be combatant, right? You could just sort of like laugh and go, like, really? And pause for a while and see what they say. Because majority of times they're going to take it back and they're going to say, it's just kidding. And if they don't, just pause. You're like, really? Like, what do you mean? I love saying, what do you mean? Ask them to clarify something, because what they mean and what you're thinking, two different things. You can make a joke of it. You know, if you're lighthearted, then they're going to be lighthearted. People are a lot of times are asking irrelevant questions to get started because they want to feel like they're smart or feel like they need to ask something because it's helping them avoid making a decision. So you can answer that question. You can go down their rabbit hole, and because when you answer a question that they're asking, it gives that question validity. So sometimes prospects are asking that question to get you to jump. And if you don't jump, you're taking back your posture without being abrasive. There's a lot of ways you can answer this question, right? Like we all know, you can talk about the corporate structure or the bank structure, and it's just a shape, it's geometrical, or everyone has the same buckets of money, or we're just a different distribution strategy. You can do that, or you can say, really? Do you think I'd be involved with something like that? Or do you think I would risk my son's future on something like that? Really? You know, it's not that at all. And if your prospect's completely negative and they keep going on about it, you know, it's a scam or it's this, you know, blah, blah, then next, do the takeaways. Like, you know what, perfect. Sounds to me like you had a bad experience with something that you haven't gotten over yet, and it doesn't sound like a good fit for our team. So thanks for listening. Have a great day. Don't battle with the negative Nancy, because you want to hold your posture. You're never going to win this conversation if they hold on to it. All right. So the last one, I'm not good at sales. When you're getting this, 9 times out of 10, it's because you probably are trying to sell them. You're coming across really salesy. Or for some reason, they're doubting that they can do what you're doing. So remember to make it really duplicatable. Don't sell them on this. Use the tools. Let the tools work. Send them a video. Set up a 3-way call. Send them to the Getting Started or the corporate call on Tuesday night. You can handle this and you can have some fun. It depends who says this and how well you know them, right? You can say, oh, thank God you said that, because I'm so glad you say that, because what I found is salespeople always mess this up. You know, you can laugh, you can make light of it. You know, salespeople are always trying to convince us instead of letting us buy naturally, right? Like we want to buy something that we love, right? Or, you know, salespeople are always trying to be, you know, none of us wants to be pushed into a sale, right? So let them agree. You know, you do the knowing nod and they're going to agree with you. And awesome. You know, I'm so glad you said that, because we just want to share pure therapeutic ketones, which I think personally rock. And we want to let people see if they experience the same energy, same focus, same loss of appetite in their first day like I did. And if you can do that, then I'm relieved that you're not into sales. And welcome to the team. You can have some fun. You can assume the yes. There's nothing wrong with that. So those are just some of the more common ones that we get, you know, like, congratulations, you made it to the end of me rambling. I really hope this added some value. And remember, these are skills. You need to practice skills. They're like muscles. They get bigger and more effective the more that you use them. So write out your own responses, pause and listen to this video a few times, and role play with somebody or record them, you know, come up with your own way of saying something and say it into your phone. Play it back. Keep repeating until it becomes really natural. And if you do this right, you will be a pro. You're going to increase your conversions. You're going to have more fun in the process, because having posture is way more fun than letting prospects jerk you around, right? And if you've got any other objections or questions that I haven't answered, you can reach out to me or put it on the Team Proof thing. Or you can look back at the way you presented and look at your posture. If you just made your prospects comfortable, remember, you don't want to attract those objections. Okay, so I wish I had some time for some Q&A. I really don't. I just wanted to get this out. We can reconvene and have another one, or you can just start a thread on the Team Proof Facebook group and just get your questions answered. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for listening in now or listening to the replay. Have a great day and keep ketoing on. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Janice.
Thanks,
That was
Janice.
awesome. Awesome. Now,
Thank you.
how do we get the replay so we can send it,
I'll post-
listen again?
I'll post it on Team Proof. Thanks.
Fabulous.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Love it.